this is one of my favorite places to run to because I call this the John Wick course. If you remember, in John Wick 2, it ends with Winston sitting here and he's approached by John, and all I can say is this, is watch the last scene, and this is how John Wick 2 ends. More than 3+ years ago, I would go and I would consider and I would contemplate on Genesis chapter 3. Within these 24 verses are where the whole world can go ahead and read about where depression starts, why it started, and how you and I can go ahead and prevent it. When all is said and done, is that when I had one of my aha moments where King David says, I know, O Lord, that thou was the one who depressed me or afflicted me. It was like, okay, wait a second. It's like, God, okay, prove to me and teach me and show me that you are the person that is responsible for depression. His answer is that you got to go back to the beginning, go back to the garden, and I will answer you. Now, to any one of you, man or woman, put yourself in the position of Adam, put yourself in the position of Eve, and ask yourself just the basic questions. When you read and you meditate on those 24 verses, just ask yourself, okay? If you had your cake and needed to, good morning, how are you? You're so famous. The exciting thing is that, just ask yourself, okay, is that if I was in the position of Adam, if I was in the position of Eve, if I had my cake and I could eat it too, and then I disobeyed, just ask yourself the basic questions, okay? And I mean this, okay, is that read and just meditate and meditate and meditate on those 24 verses. And it's pretty obvious that if I was 86th out of my Garden of Eden, out of Central Park, and I was sentenced, literally, to a life of toil as a man, okay? For the rest of my life, when everything was just handed to me, but now I had to really work for it. Imagine, okay, Adam, for the rest of his life, he had to exist in the state of thinking about, you know what, I shouldn't have done this. I should have not disobeyed God. In a nutshell, as a female, no wonder women always have pain, birth pains when they give childbirth. And no wonder that even afterwards, many women fall into depression. Now just think about that for a second. So when all is said and done, when you look at the whole big picture, it is pretty obvious that the world needs to see, know, and understand is that from the creation of the first Adam until the cremation of the last, hey, depression is going to exist. You got to press on, world.